The widely used test to determine the workability of the concrete is the concrete slam test. It is used widely in every field, in every construction field. But how to do the slam test? What is the Indian standard code requirements that we need to know to perform the slam test properly to know the workability of the concrete? In today's video, I will discuss everything about the slam test of the concrete. So stay tuned until the end to get the full information about the SLAM test as per the Indian standard. So let's start. And if you're new in my channel, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notification. So what is the Indian codes or standard to be followed for the SLAM test? That is IS 1199 Part 2 2018. As of now, this is the latest version. Maybe after some time it can be revised, so you need to check every time which one is the revised version from the BIS website itself only, no other places. So IS 1199 part 2 2018. Now let's check what is it saying about the SLAM test. The SLAM test is saying 4.3 clause. The fresh concrete is compacted into a mold in the shape of a frustum of cone. When the cone is withdrawn upwards, the distance that the concrete has slumped provides to measure the consistency of the concrete. So here it is the slump measured. Now we take one by one. What is the apparatus required? What is the procedure and how to check that one? Now there is a condition. The slump test is applicable for a range of consistency of concrete that corresponds of slump between 10 mm to 200 mm. So it can be measured from 0 to 300, but this slump test is only applicable if it is false in between 10 mm to 200 mm. It is not false. What is code saying? Outside the range, other method may be determination of consistency should be considered, which are described elsewhere in the standard. So other method to be followed if the slump value is not falling in between 10 to 210 mm. So these are the condition of the slump test. Now, what is the apparatus we need to be there when if you want to perform the slump test? First is the mold suitable for forming the test specimen. The shall be made of metal not readily attracted by cement paste and having at least 1.6 mm thickness. So the metal should be minimum 1.6 mm thickness. The mold shall have smooth internal surface and free from dents. The mold shall be in the form of hollow frustum of cone and shall have the following internal dimension. What is the, see, these are the cone. This is the bottom diameter, it's the top diameter, and this is the height. So bottom diameter is 200, top diameter is 100, and this is 300. And these after 100 mm, this bracket is there, and this is the holding screw to will be here. Now there, what will be the tolerance? See, diameter of base 200 plus minus 2 mm. So whenever we are getting, we need to check whether this dimension is there or not. Then diameter of top 100 plus minus 2 mm. Height 300 plus minus 2 mm. So everywhere plus minus 2 mm tolerance is applicable for the SLAM test. Now what is the other thing is required? This calibration of the mold. The mold shall be checked annually to ensure that is the dimension and condition remain within the specified tolerance. That means every year it is need to be calibrated from the calibration agency who are authorized to do that. So if it is calibration certificate is not there, so that means that mold we cannot use for the site purpose. This is the criteria you need to fulfill at the site for the better result and for the right result. And then this slam cone is there. Then we need the tamping rod. The tamping rod shall be made of steel having circular cross sections with a diameter of 16 mm. Again, the tolerance is plus minus 1 mm. And what is the height or the length? 600 plus minus 5 mm in length and with rounded ends. Okay, so these are the templing rod, and what is saying, the templing rod shall be checked annually to ensure that its dimension and the condition remains within the tolerance. So that means every year we need to check the calibration for the slam cone as well as the trampling rod. And what is the dimension? These are the shape 100, 200, 300. And tolerance is plus minus 2 mm. And here is the tolerance is plus minus 1 mm, and the length is tolerance plus minus 5 mm. Now, there is another requirement funnel that is optional. It can be used or not. Then rule, it shall be graduated from 0 to 300 mm at interval not exceeding 5 mm, with 0 point being at extreme at the point of rule. Okay. Then base plate fixing, shovel, we already know that. Again, come to the procedure. Now, dampen the mold base plate with a moist cloth. Wipe any excessive water from the surface using an absorbent cloth. Place the mold on the surface of the rigid horizontal base plate free from extraneous vibration and shock. So it is very important that the surface should be horizontal. There will be no unevens, or there is no level difference, and it should be free from any type of shock, so that the result will not affect by the level difference or the shock or the vibration. So it should be ensuring first the base should be prepared, so that the base should be in the 0 level. There will be no level difference, and there will be no chances for shock or the vibration absorption. Then immediately after obtaining the sample in accordance to with 4.2, that was sample, how to collect the sample. Also, as we know that from the batch itself, fill the mold in 3 layers, each approximately 1/3 of the height of the mold when compacted. That means now we have the 300 mm slump. We cannot pour exactly in a same go or one go. We need to pour in 3 layer in 3 equal heights, but which means h by 3, h by 3 by h by 3. During filling, clamping, or hold, mold firmly in place by standing on the 2-foot piece. So it should be firmly placed, and each layer will be h by 3. That means 100, 100, 100. When filling mold, ensure that the concrete is distributed symmetrically around the mold. That means it should be symmetrically, not up, down, or something else. Now, we have the templing dot. Now we have to tamping the concrete. So what is the tamping frequency? Tamp each layer with 25 strokes of the tamping rod. That means each layer we need to stroke 25 times with the 16 mm tamping rod, as it is mentioned in the previous one. So this will be the main criteria in 3 layer in h by 3 and 25 strokes. The strokes shall be distributed and in uniform manner over the all cross-section area for mold. For the bottom layer, this will necessarily including the rod slightly in positioning approximately half the stroke spiral toward the center. So these are all the criteria it is saying. So remove the mold in 5 plus minus 2 seconds by a straight upward push with no lateral or torsional motion being impacted on the concrete. That means after filling the concrete in 3 layer, tamping with the 16 mm rod with 25 number stroke in each layer. Now we need to remove the slump. On how it should be 5 seconds plus minus 2 seconds by straight upward push. So there will be no lateral and torsional motion being imparted to the concrete, so that the effect result will not be affected. So this and the entire operation from the start of the filling of the removal of the mold shall be carried out without interruption and shall be completed within 180 seconds. That means within 3 minutes. Within 3 minutes, when you start pouring the concrete into the slump, we need to complete the full operation or complete the test within the 3 minutes or 180 seconds. Now, test result. The test result, and oh, this is also measured slump of the nearest 5 mm. So the least count is fine. So it will be 180 or 185. It's not that 182 or 179. But the test valid if only is a true slump. This being a slump in which the concrete remains substantially intact and symmetrically as shown in figure 3a. So now it is another condition. If it is a true slump only, it will be valid. If it is not true slump, it is not valid. Let's check what is true slump and what is other type of slump. See, here it is clearly mentioned. It is a true slump, it is a shear slump, it is a collapse slump. So for the shear and the collapse slump, this slump test is not valid. If it is only in the true shear slump, that only this slump test is valid. Now, what is it saying? If the specimens appear as a 3B, the collapse as shown in the figure 3, take another sample. So that means if we have find the collapse or the shear cone, shear slump, then another sample and repeat entire procedure as described above. So another sample to be taken, the same procedure. Record the slump to the nearest 5 mm. Then if two consecutive tests show portion of concrete shearing off from the mass of the test specimen, collapse, report the test being invalid as the concrete lacks the necessary plasticity and cohesiveness for the slam test to be suitable. So if it is a continuing to test the collapse or the shear cone, then it is not valid. It is to be invalid. So these are the condition we need to fulfill whenever we are doing the slam test. And how the report, the addition of the information in 5 mm, the test report shall be slammed if there's a true slam measured to be nearest 5 mm. A notation that the test give a sheared or collapse slam, that also we need to inform that it is a shear slam or the collapse slam or the true slam. So how this will be the true slam, and from there, what will be the distance from here to here? That will be the slam value. And now, if suppose we are getting 90 mm slam, now how we can measure that? How we can integrate it? Now, if on our mixed design, or it is already mentioned what is the requirement of the slam for this in particular kind of concrete. If it is 90 mm, so we need to check whether this is a 90 mm or not. If not, what is the tolerance and how we can, it is accepted or not. If it is 120 and we are getting 80, that means it's not accepted. The consistency or the workability is not achieved. So these are the things also we need to take care when you are doing the slam test. So these are the all for the slam test, and I hope you find this is useful. And if you want to know anything about slam cone test, please let me know. I'm here to help you. And also, I'm waiting for your valuable comment, so that from your valuable comment, everybody will be benefited. And if you are find this information and useful, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon, so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notifications. And till now, I'm waiting for your valuable comments, and thanks again for watching me.